In only his third season as San Francisco's middle linebacker, Fred Warner is establishing himself as one of the premier players at his position and is playing at an extremely high level. His mix of speed and intelligence along with superb tackling are putting him in the conversation for best middle linebacker playing today. In my opinion, he's the best coverage linebacker and one of the top run defenders that together make him the most complete linebacker in the NFL. Building off a very impressive sophomore campaign in 2019, he's looking even better in his third year and should garner possible Defensive Player of the Year considerations if his high level of play continues. Whenever I watch the 49ers defensive film, you can't help but notice Fred Warner. He just jumps off the film, constantly around the ball carrier and in the right position in coverage. His speed and football IQ has given Robert Saleh a versatile chess piece that has allowed him to employ more blitzes to generate quick pressure on quarterbacks. He's been an absolute steal as the 49ers were able to draft him in the third round, and I expect that when it comes time for an extension, that he will become the NFL's highest paid linebacker, as he should be. So what is it that makes Fred Warner so good? Let's jump to the film and see why. You're watching Johnny Dell's Football Academy. Early in the Giants game, Fred Warner's film study was showing. Here, it's second and long and the Giants start out in a 3-by-1 set and motion Golden Tate across the formation. We're going to be running cover 2 on this play, and the way we run cover 2 is almost always a Tampa 2, where Fred Warner will match the deepest receiver down the middle of the field where the cover 2 is vulnerable. After the snap, we'll see it was a Tampa call by the drop of the safeties. The Giants are going to run double sticks concepts here with a curl over the middle looking to horizontally stretch the defense. It's both a well-timed call by Saleh and great recognition by Warner. At the snap, you'll see Warner doesn't gain any depth. I've seen the 49ers run this defense at least a couple hundred times over the past few years, and I can tell you with certainty the only way Fred Warner doesn't gain depth here is he knew the offensive play before it was ran. He's sitting on the running back as the check down after Mosley and Quan Alexander play it really well, and it's almost no gain on the play. Here's another play where Fred Warner seemingly knows the offensive play before it's run. The Giants come out with 2 tight ends and 1 back, and the wide receivers in twins. This gives a run personnel look, and New York is going to try and fake the run and hit Golden Tate on a seam route versus cover 3. As the tight end motions across, watch Fred Warner. He's going to move his eyes to Golden Tate, and at the snap, doesn't even have to read the lineman if it's a run or pass. If you don't know, linebackers are taught to read run pass from the lineman. If they fire out low, it's a run. If they have high hats, it's a pass. So almost always you'll see the linebackers reading the lineman in front of them. Here, Warner knows it's a pass all the way. That's from great film study, and he runs Tate's route, taking away what New York was trying to do and allowing the line to get pressure on Daniel Jones, who has to just throw it away. For comparison, let's look at how New York's linebackers react to a similar play-action play. Next, we'll look at a play that shows how the game has slowed down for him. When guys get into the league, you'll usually see them play undisciplined in that they'll just attack the ball carrier wherever he's at, and it can lead to guys getting out of position. In our defense, we play a one-gap defense, meaning each player in the front 7 or 8, depending on the coverage call, is responsible for one gap. New York is going to run a simple inside zone, and you can see how quickly Warner recognizes run and fills his gap. When DJ Jones gets washed down, he doesn't panic and try and fill the hole. He sets himself, and look how he takes on the center, while keeping his eyes on the ball carrier so that when the ball carrier tries to bounce it outside, he sheds the block and gets in on the tackle. That's real nice linebacker play. Again, New York is going to try and attack him with play action. This is a play we've run a lot in our system over the years. I'll first show when we did it in 2019 against the Cardinals. It's pretty simple. You run a hard play action to suck up the underneath linebackers and run your wide receiver on a deep curl to take advantage of the vacated linebackers. New York is going to try and do the same thing, but watch the recognition from Fred Warner. When Daniel Jones turns around, Fred Warner has dropped right in the passing lane and taken the play away. He then is forced to try and make something happen, and it results in an incomplete pass. Again, this is not the norm when you look at linebacker play around the NFL. We'll then take a look at his interception. In the presser, he said he knew before the snap what route the receiver was going to run based off their film study. Tart did as well. The receiver is going to run a stick route where he'll read if it's man or zone, and if it's zone, he'll look to sit this route down, and if it's man, he'll continue to the sideline. This is so good by Warner. He first can't take too aggressive a drop on the receiver as he has to show him he's in zone, but then is able to drive on the pass and pick it off. He does this the whole time without even looking at the receiver. That's pretty incredible. I showed this play in the weekly review, but it bears repeating. The Giants are going to try an old toss play where they'll bring double crackdown blocks and pull the tackle and tight end around as lead blockers. The idea is that you'll get your running back beating the mic to the edge who has to weave through a ton of wash. Watch Fred Warner's pursuit. He navigates through all the wash with a perfect angle of pursuit while keeping his eyes on the ball carrier the entire time. That's just perfection. We'll wrap it up with a play against the Jets in week 2. I'm highlighting his recognition and closing speed here. The Jets are going to try a wide receiver bubble screen where they have 2 tight ends outside and are going to look to get their fast wide receiver on a screen pass. Watch the speed of recognition and closing speed by Warner on this play. Side note, props to Quan Alexander for driving the tight end back on this play. These are just some examples over the past 2 weeks of why I think Fred Warner is one of the top middle linebackers playing today, and with Bosa now gone for the year, San Francisco's best defensive player and a guy who should be a cornerstone of this defense for years to come. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. As usual, if you'd like to support the channel in any way, I'll have links for that below. You can always interact with me on Twitter, Reddit, 49erswebzone.com in the forum section, or in the comments below. And as always, stay safe, stay healthy, and go Niners.